Today's a WRAL weather alert day. We have a flooding threat again. We could see several inches of rain, at least in isolated spots, especially this afternoon. We'll take a look at the timeline.
A barricade situation. This is a live look from the WRAL breaking news tracker in Rocky Mount. Police have had an apartment complex surrounded for 6 hours now. What we know about the shooting call that brought them there in the first place.
And mental health resources. Kids in Wake County will have more tools available to them this school year. How schools are expanding their services to help even more students. One of many stories we are following for you, as well as WRAL Weather Alert Day that was issued. Thank you for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Ken Smith, and because of that WRAL Weather Alert Day, let's get right back to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, the WRAL Severe Weather Center, because you're not just tracking what we're experiencing, but the tropics as well.
Exactly. We're going to start off with our flood risk. This is new this morning. These yellow shaded counties, this is where we have a medium risk for flooding. And yesterday we had just a few counties in the northeast, and now a few more of those eastern counties added to that. The rest of the viewing area has a low risk for flooding, but that doesn't mean that we wouldn't have any. It just means it would be isolated. We have a few showers that have been moving into the Sandhills on and off this morning. Still a little bit of light patchy rain there. Some of that starting to creep into the southwestern corner of Chatham County right now. The chance of rain goes up from 30% this morning to 60% later on this afternoon. And we'll talk more about how much we could see coming up. Down here is Aaron, and the latest advisory from Aaron has it moving west at 17 miles per hour with winds at 50 miles per hour. But by late tomorrow, it's likely to be a Category 1 storm and then eventually a major hurricane turning northward. Coming up in just a few minutes, I'll take a look at our hurricane-specific models and talk about where it's headed after this.
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we have a serious crash in Apex. It's on North Salem Street, right near Hunter Street. We're seeing a little bit of delays in the area, but we were told that there's an overturned vehicle. Injuries are reported. We're trying to get some more information about it. As soon as we do, we, of course, let you know. I want to isolate the Beltline because we're seeing some huge congestion there, particularly on the southern loop of the Beltline, as well as that northern loop. So if you're taking that southern loop of the Beltline this morning, of course, Rock Quarry Road, Lake Wheeler Road, Gorman Street exits, you're looking at a 10-minute delay, so keep that in mind. The northern loop of the Beltline's looking a lot better this morning as you look at I-440 and Glenwood Avenue. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning, so that northern loop is a lot nicer for you in terms of commute. Coming into the capital city in terms of major routes, a 6-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning, just a 4-minute delay if you're coming in from Nidell. Over in Durham, relatively no delays whatsoever, but I do want to isolate I-885 because we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown in that particular area. If you're going into Durham this morning, you're looking at a 4-minute delay. If you're using I-885 to get to I-40, that's about a 5-minute delay. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. Breaking news, a person is barricaded inside an apartment in Rocky Mount. Officers have been there for 6 hours now. Ali Calabar is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, you were able to see the police response from a new angle.
Yes, and we are going to get to that drone video in just a second, but just in the past 5 minutes, that mobile command unit set up and they pulled out a speaker. It sounds like they are demanding the barricaded person to come out, but we want to get to that drone video. This is drone 5. This is what's going on right now. There's a special response team moving into a hallway. We also saw they have guns pointed at an apartment building. We saw officers even shielding a person as they are moving someone out of their apartment complex there. And so this all happened around 1:10. This all started at 1:10 a.m. Police say they responded to a 23-year-old man who was shot. He was taken to the hospital. He is in stable condition. Nash County Public Schools did issue a statement to avoid this area. Again, we are staying on top of this. We are listening. We can slightly hear what's going on the speakers there, so we are going to give you that latest update in the next 30 minutes. Reporting in Rocky Mount, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
And Raleigh police are investigating an overnight shooting at a Days Inn. This is video from Glenwood Avenue last night. Police say one person was shot. We are trying to find out more about that person's condition. At last check, police said there's no threat to the public.
Covering Wake County schools will have new resources this year to help children get mental health services. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live at Salem Middle School this morning in Apex. And Kelsey, these expanded options include more telehealth opportunities.
Yes, Kim, they sure do. So Wake school leaders are working to bring more mental health resources to your child's school. In less than 2 hours now, we're going to learn more about their expanded partnership with therapy services. Salem Middle School here is one of the schools that's already a part of this program. More schools will be added to this list very soon. Last school year, 286 students received mental health services across the district. Right now, more than half of Wake County schools have a partnership with the therapy service. This new push comes after the district lost a $14 million mental health grant. That's because the Trump administration cut that funding. School leaders hope to close that gap by using these partnerships to offer virtual therapy to students. So we'll hear from a mental health expert and a Wake County school social worker this morning at 9:30. They'll talk about this expanded partnership. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on those new plans. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Apex.
Today, Nash County students and families can celebrate back-to-school season. The free event includes a petting zoo, door prizes, food trucks, and access to educational resources. This event is running from 6 to 8 p.m. this evening at Nash Community College. And WRAL has you covered for the start of the new school year. Find out where to find the cheapest supplies, how to prepare your child for the first day, and more. It's all on WRAL.com. All you have to do is search back to school.
We're learning new information about the moments leading up to a deadly boat crash on Harris Lake. The crash killed 10-year-old Brooklyn Carroll and caused serious injuries for her friend's mother, Jennifer Staley. New search warrants indicate the boat's driver, Quentin Kite, was on his phone. Warrants also show the owner of the boat, Anne Marie Flanagan, showed an officer a video of people wakeboarding. The timestamp was just 2 minutes before the first 911 call came in. Kite is accused of being drunk at the helm of that boat during the crash. Both he and Flanagan are facing second-degree murder charges.
The mother of the victim in the deadly shooting at North Carolina Central University says her daughter was a domestic violence victim. London Powers was born and raised in D.C. She was working on her master's degree in social work at NCCU. Powers was found shot at a Durham apartment complex on Monday. She died at the hospital. 23-year-old Damian Tinsley was found dead at the scene. Durham police believe he's the suspect in that shooting. Powers' mother says there was a history of domestic violence between the two.
She was just going back to that apartment to get her things out of there. Yep, still focused on her goals. She was leaving. She was already done. And I just had spoken to her like around 1:30, as a matter of fact, between 12 and 1:30, and then I get a call that this happened to her.
She also says London decided to leave the relationship just before that shooting happened. In this story on WRAL.com, we have resources if you or someone you know has or is experiencing domestic violence.
A 15-year-old is accused of killing 3 of his family members in Harnett County. Investigators say the teen shot and killed his aunt and uncle, Sabrina and Danny Richards, as well as Danny's mother, Clara. The couple led Genesis Grace Ministry in Fayetteville. They were both decorated war veterans as well. A 10-year-old relative in that house called 911, but that 10-year-old child was not hurt. The teenage suspect was found 6 hours later in the woods in Spring Lake.
A man is facing charges in connection to a road rage assault on US 301. Wilson PD says 60-year-old Michael Hackney was driving a pickup truck. They say a 16-year-old made a report saying Hackney nearly hit him. After the teen allowed the truck to pass, Hackney is accused of hitting his brakes right in front of that teenager. Police say Hackney then got out of his truck, confronted the teen, and assaulted him. The teen has minor injuries. Hackney is charged with misdemeanor simple assault and misdemeanor larceny.
President Trump is issuing a warning to Russia ahead of his meeting with Vladimir Putin tomorrow. He says if Russia does not end the war with Ukraine, there could be very severe consequences. The president spoke with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky over the phone ahead of the summit in Alaska. Trump told the Ukrainian president he is entering tomorrow's meeting with the hopes of getting a ceasefire agreement. Zelensky has warned of stronger sanctions if Russia does not agree to a truce. He was not invited to that summit in Alaska, by the way.
Homeland Security agents were seen arresting a food truck vendor near the Lincoln Memorial in D.C. The agency is working with Metro Police as part of President Donald Trump's plan to combat crime in that city. Multiple squad cars surrounded the area while agents talked to the vendor in an unmarked car. There is no information yet on why that man was arrested.
State leaders are kicking off a ride-along tour to show the recovery progress in western North Carolina from Hurricane Helene. NCDOT will be in Yancey County this morning to look at the department's work to rebuild the area. The agency will be making several stops over the next several weeks leading up to the one-year anniversary in September. Now, at the end of September, WRAL will air a documentary to mark 1 year since the storm devastated western North Carolina.
Today, we're getting another look at what could be leading to you paying more for certain products. The Producer Price Index comes out this morning. It tracks the prices producers and manufacturers receive for their goods from retailers and distributors. When prices get high for them, they could potentially pass on costs to you. Today's report is scheduled to be released in about 20 minutes at 8:30 this morning.
Well, all month long, we're helping area animals find forever homes during our Clear the Shelters adoption event. For the month of August, the Animal Protection Society of Durham is reducing dog adoption fees to only $25. Give your furry friend a fresh start. Now, to learn more about this and other local events, go to WRAL.com/shelter.
From the NHL to the NBA, the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes is buying the Portland Trailblazers. Why team officials say his goals for the Triangle are still the same despite the big purchase.
And an Apex parking problem. Town leaders are in disagreement about where high school students are leaving their cars for a fee, while a woman's property is the center of that concern.
And a little light patchy rain in the Sandhills right now, but today is a WRAL weather alert day. Later this afternoon, that rain could become heavy in places. We'll talk about the timeline. 8:14 on this WRAL weather alert day. We still have tropical moisture in place, so as we start to see some cells popping up later on today, they're likely to dump some heavy rain. We'll have some downpours. We've had a few isolated showers this morning, especially in Moore County, parts of Chatham and Lee County, but nothing terribly heavy so far. You can see Sanford's fairly dry, but a little bit of light patchy rain from Southern Pines down to Pinehurst and the southwestern corner of Chatham County. Once we get past lunchtime, it bumps up to a 60% chance, and at that point, we could see some heavy showers. I got a kick out of this view of Pinehurst there. I could catch some raindrops falling here, and the golfers out there just not even noticing. I mean, you know, does it ever rain on the golf course? I don't know. 60% chance today. It's a lesser chance as we get into the weekend. Friday and Saturday down to a 30% chance. But as our chance of rain goes down, the temperatures go up. I'll show you when we can see some of our first 90-degree days of this month coming up. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, traffic is definitely picking up around the Beltline, particularly the southern loop of the Beltline. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic. A little differently, though, on the northern loop of the Beltline. If you take a live look at I-440 and Glenwood Avenue, these are the westbound lanes coming toward us, as you can see right here. In terms of other major routes coming into the capital city, 5 minutes coming in from Wake Forest, just 3 minutes coming in from Nightdale this morning. And similarly, very little to no delays heading into the Bull City, except for I-885. I'm going to keep an eye on that for you.
All right, thank you, Ken. We are staying on top of breaking news in Rocky Mount. This is a live look from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Police on the scene of an apartment complex where someone has barricaded themselves inside. Police responded after reports of someone being shot. That person has since been taken to the hospital. We'll check in with Ali Calabar in about 15 minutes for the latest report on that scene. A 15-year-old is accused of killing 3 of his family members in Harnett County. Investigators say the teen shot and killed his aunt and uncle, Sabrina and Danny Richards, as well as Danny's mother, Clara. The couple led Genesis Grace Ministry in Fayetteville. They were both decorated war veterans. A 10-year-old relative in the home called 911. The 10-year-old was not hurt. The teenage suspect was found nearly 6 hours later in the woods in Spring Lake.
A man is facing charges in connection to a road rage incident on US 301. Wilson police say 60-year-old Michael Hackney was driving a pickup truck. Officers say a 16-year-old male reported saying Hackney nearly hit him. After the teen allowed the truck to pass, Hackney is accused of hitting his brakes right in front of that teen. Police say Hackney then got out of his truck, confronted the teen, and assaulted him. The teen has minor injuries. Hackney is charged with misdemeanor simple assault and misdemeanor larceny.
Carolina Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon is making a splash in the NBA. He's buying the Portland Trail Blazers. Details have not been released publicly. However, ESPN reports the deal is worth more than $4 billion. The move has some Canes fans wondering if or how this could impact their team.
I wasn't concerned about that he has to make that investment. I was concerned about where his mind and heart is.
Canes VP Mike Sondheim released a statement about this news. He said this will not impact the Carolina Hurricanes, and Tom still wants to bring Major League Baseball to North Carolina.
People are trying to find a solution to a major parking shortage at Apex Friendship High School. You see it right there. It had gotten so bad that one neighbor was charging students for parking. Juniors and seniors get parking passes through a lottery process. Now, if they don't get one, you have to park on neighborhood streets. In 2015, Annie Scott started allowing students to park in her yard for a fee. The town recently banned her from doing that. Mayor Doc Gilbert says he is pushing to reestablish her lot, but he's facing some opposition.
Rezonings are costly. Miss Annie is not trying to become a elevated commercial business. She's simply trying to solve a problem.
I wouldn't want to live in those townhomes right behind this where there's a parking lot right behind your home when it should be just another residence.
The town council met this week to discuss a compromise. The matter was tabled until the next council meeting that's set for August 26th.
Democrats across the country are challenging efforts by Texas Republicans to redraw congressional maps. Indiana state lawmakers were in Chicago yesterday to meet with Texas Democrats. The Texas lawmakers left their state to delay a vote on the new district lines. Texas Minority Leader Jean Wu says the redistricting effort is an attack on democracy.
We will defend against this if Texas is determined to do this, if other red states are determined to do this and to stifle and block the will of the people and to take away our voice and our power, then we will have other states who will make sure that it does not matter what they do.
And an Illinois judge declined to enforce Texas's effort to use civil arrest warrants against the House Democrats. The redistricting effort could give Republicans a 5-seat majority in the House. All right, let's toss things over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner now in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. A lot of people, their eyes are on the tropics. They want to know if Aaron is going to affect us.
Exactly. You know, because it is heading across the Atlantic. It's going to make this turn to the north. And of course, we all want to know, where is it going? Well, it's at least a week away from having any impact here off the coast of the United States. So it's something that we're going to be talking about a lot. It's way out here in the Atlantic, far from land at the moment, and hasn't really strengthened too much yet. Last check at 5 o'clock in the advisory, it had winds at 50 miles per hour, moving west 17 miles per hour. And of course, the forecast path has it continuing to move west-northwest and then making that turn north. And of course, the big question is, how quickly will it make that turn? This, of course, is the forecast fan from the National Hurricane Center. And the Hurricane Center says, yeah, well, the center of the storm could be anywhere in this fan. We're expecting it to make that turn, and we're also expecting it to be a major hurricane by the weekend and potentially going forward. Where do they get their forecast from? We all look at hurricane-specific computer models. So these are designed to understand how hurricanes form, how they move, how they grow, how they dissipate. And so these are all different ones, sort of giving us a good idea of a spectrum of where the storm could end up. Of course, here over the weekend, they're fairly widely spaced. But once we get to, say, Wednesday or Thursday, they're fairly tightly spaced. We like that. But this is a look at where the center of circulation could be. County, this is going to be a very big storm. If it ends up here, we will have some impact, not a landfall in North Carolina, but we'll likely have rip current danger and some erosion. This is a look at the models that you hear us talk about pretty regularly, the European model in red and the American model in white. Yesterday, the European model took a jog back to the west, but of course today it's slightly shifting eastward again. There's Bermuda, and you can see on Wednesday it is still far from the coast of North Carolina. If you're headed to the beach this weekend, nothing to worry about. Go to the beach, have a good time. As a matter of fact, it might be a little drier than it's been this week. Now, by Monday and Tuesday, we may see increased rip currents, and then Wednesday and Thursday is when we would want to watch for any impact. Again, we don't expect a landfall, at least not right now. We're looking at the potential for some pockets of some heavy rain again today, so it is a WRAL weather alert day. A couple of sprinkles, light showers in the Sandhills and in parts of Chatham County. You can see that, but we're going to have a better chance of some rain later on this afternoon. It jumps up to about a 60% chance. So just keep it tuned here, especially as we get into the afternoon. Check in with us during the noon newscast. It's a drier weekend here, but a warmer one too, with some of our first 90-degree days of this month. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We want to stay on top of this situation here in Apex. We're told that it was an overturned vehicle at Salem and Hunter Street. We're not seeing any delays in the area, but we're trying to keep an eye on it and let you know what's going on. Boy, we're seeing some heavy congestion. That southern loop of the Beltline, those are the westbound lanes moving away from us. The northern loop of the Beltline looking rather nice this morning. Traffic flowing nicely in both directions. That's due to the westbound lane coming toward us. As far as other major routes coming into the capital city, you're looking at a 5-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest, Capitol Boulevard, if you will. Just a 2-minute delay if you're coming in from Nidell this morning. Similarly, we're not seeing any delays whatsoever, really, over in the Bull City, relatively delay-free. I'm going to keep an eye on I-885 and let you know how that's going to continue to affect your morning commute.
All right, thank you, Ken. Still ahead, school schedule switch. Summer fun may still be on the agenda, but the new school year is right around the corner. 5 on Your Side explains how a little bit of planning can help avoid stress later. And NC Innovation tensions. The group plays a major role in North Carolina's economy. Why one board member is accused of damaging its reputation.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. It's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has more on some potential flooding again. Elizabeth.
Yeah, Weather Alert Day again because we do have the potential. It would be isolated. Not everybody's going to see it. That's been the pattern all week long. A couple of showers here, especially right now in the southwestern portion of Chatham County. So you're about to see a little rain there in Siler City and then up around Pittsboro. It's just been light in our western counties for the last couple of hours. A better chance this afternoon, up to 60%. That's when we'd have the potential to see maybe a few spots with some flooding, especially because we're so saturated after the rain that we've seen this week. Gray skies here down in Raleigh there at the airport, and a warm afternoon with highs in the upper 80s. Ken? All
right, Elizabeth, we have first responders working a crash on I-87 in those southbound lanes. Right now, you can still see some lingering delays in this particular area. The icon just disappeared, which tells me that that crash is cleared. But as you can see, we still have a slowdown there on I-87. In terms of other major routes coming into the capital city, you're looking at a 5-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest. Just a couple of minutes if you're coming in from I-87 this morning over in Nidell. Similarly, we're not seeing any delays whatsoever, relatively speaking, over in the Bull City as well at this hour.
All right, thank you, Ken. We are staying on top of breaking news in Rocky Mount. Police are at the scene of an apartment complex where someone has barricaded themselves inside. Police responded after reports of a 23-year-old man being shot. That person has since been taken to the hospital. And Wake school leaders are working to bring more mental health services to your child's school. Today, we'll learn more about their expanded partnership with therapy services. Last school year, 286 students received mental health services across the district. Next on Fox 50, new information about a Harnett County teen accused of killing 3 members of his family.
New this morning, some of our eastern counties are now under a medium risk for flooding. That's new this morning. We'll talk about when we'll have the best chance of some heavier rain.
And barricade situation. This is a live look from the WRAL breaking news tracker as officers trying to get someone out of an apartment. The call that has had officers on that scene for more than 7 hours.
Student mental health. Wake County Schools expanding services for children in need of support. How the new options could help hundreds more children this coming school year as we get ready to open traditional calendar schools. So we got all that and more coming up in this half hour. So glad you're with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Happy Thursday. I hope it's going well so far. You probably need the umbrellas again.
Yeah.
It is a WRAL weather alert day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner showing us who's under that level 1 and 2 risk.
Most of us are under that lower level 1 risk in some of our eastern counties, especially along and east of I-95 and then all the way to the coast. That's where it's more likely that we would have enough rain for some flooding. But again, it does include some of our counties. So far, ironically, this morning, it's been just some light patchy rain in some of our southwestern counties like Chatham County, Lee County, Moore County, even down around Hoke County. But nothing heavy yet. A better chance of some heavier rain later this afternoon after lunchtime. Checking the tropics, of course, right here is Aaron, still sitting way out over the Atlantic Ocean, moving west at 17 miles per hour with winds at 50 miles per hour. We'll have a new update for you, of course, coming up in the noon newscast as it rolls in at 11 o'clock. But by late tomorrow, it's likely to be our first hurricane of the Atlantic season, and then it becomes a major hurricane. It starts to make that northerly turn. The Hurricane Center forecast goes out through early next week, but beyond that, we're going to take a look at some of our hurricane-specific models and show you what they're showing. Kid.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, Elizabeth, we got first responders working a crash on I-40 westbound near Lake Wheeler Road. The shoulder of the road is closed, but right now you can see the huge delays that it's causing almost all the way back to the I-40, I-440 interchange there. So let's take you outside and show you exactly what we're talking about in those westbound lanes moving away from us. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic. We're not seeing the crash on this camera, but you can see the huge delays it's causing. This has to be updated, and it just did right before your very eyes. You're looking at a 10-minute delay if you're taking that southern loop of the Beltline. So if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County this morning, I would recommend using the northern loop of the Beltline if you can. 6-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest in terms of other major routes coming into the capital city. Over in Durham, we're not seeing very little to no delays whatsoever, but I do want to isolate I-885. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown there. 4 minutes in either direction, but you can see when you see all this heavy red, you know you're going to be in for a little bit of a slowdown. So just keep that in mind as you navigate I-885. If you're getting into the car, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thank you, Ken. Breaking news in the last 5 minutes. We're told a barricade situation at an apartment complex in Rocky Mount has ended. Ali Calabar is in the WRAL breaking news tracker. We will come back to Ali in just a minute with more information on that. Also this morning, police working to learn what led to a shooting at a Raleigh hotel. The shooting happened around 10:30 last night at the Days Inn off Glenwood Avenue near Durley Road. This is video from the scene. We know one person was hurt and taken to the hospital. We are working to learn the extent of the victim's injuries. Police say there is no ongoing threat to the public.
Well, today we will learn more about mental health resources for Wake County students. A program in place right now at one Wake County school helps to identify students with mental health challenges. It then connects them with a licensed therapist. Kelsey Coffey shares this program is expected to reach even more students in Wake County schools this school year.
Wake school leaders are working to bring more mental health resources to your child's school. This morning, we'll learn more about an expanded partnership with therapy services. Salem Middle School here is a school that's already participating in this program, and more schools could be added to this list. Last school year, 286 students received mental health services across the district. Right now, more than half of Wake County schools have a partnership with a therapy service. This new push comes after the district lost a $14 million mental health grant. That's because the Trump administration cut that funding. School leaders hope to close that gap by using these partnerships to offer virtual therapy to students. We'll hear from a mental health expert and a Wake County school social worker at 9:30 this morning. They'll talk about this expanded partnership, so we'll be sure to keep you updated on their new plans. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Apex.
All right, keep this in mind. WRAL has you covered for the start of the traditional calendar school year. Find out where to find the cheapest supplies, how to prepare your child for the first day, and a lot more pertinent information. You can find it all on WRAL.com. Search the words back to school.
A 15-year-old accused of killing 3 members of his family members in Harnett County. Investigators say the teenager shot and killed his aunt and uncle, Sabrina and Danny Richards. He's also accused of killing Danny's mother, Clara Richards. Sabrina and Danny Richards led Genesis Grace Ministry in Fayetteville. They were both decorated war veterans. Emery Carter was friends with the couple for nearly 3 decades.
They were very giving, they were very caring, they were very loving. There's no way somebody could have did this horrendous act in their right mind.
Friends say the Richards had taken their nephew in to give him a better life. He was found nearly 6 hours after the shooting in the woods in Spring Lake.
A man is now in custody in connection with a murder in Raleigh that happened back in June. 30-year-old Justin York was arrested in New York. He's accused of shooting and killing 26-year-old Raquel Kurtz. The shooting happened on Colescott Place on June 19th. York is charged with murder and possession of a firearm by a felon. He's waiting to be brought back to Raleigh. Durham police making a second arrest for a murder that happened 3 years ago. Marcel Woods is now charged in the 2022 death of Tyler Young. His brother Marcus Woods was arrested immediately after that shooting. At the time, Marcus was an employee of the Durham Police Department.
Tensions are brewing within a group designed to help academics bring their research to market. NC Innovation gets $500 million in state money to help UNC system schools. State lawmakers put Art Pope on its board of directors. He's a strong critic of the group and a major Republican donor. An internal investigation found he's responsible for wasting money and time and harming the group's reputation. Yesterday, the rest of the board strongly chastised Pope and suggested that he resign. Pope said he will not.
Well, today, family and friends say a final goodbye to one of the victims of last week's flooding in Spring Hope. A funeral for Raymond Evans Jr. is scheduled for 1 o'clock this afternoon at Rocky Chapel Missionary Baptist Church in Lewisburg. He and his stepdaughter, 24-year-old Lottie Alston, died when they got caught in those floodwaters. Alston will be laid to rest on Saturday.
3 Virginia deputies were covering this morning after they were hurt during a shootout. This happened just before 5 p.m. in Pittsylvania County, that's near Danville. 3 deputies went to a home and served a warrant and issued a protection order. When they got to the door, the sheriff's office says they were met with gunfire. 3 deputies were hit by shrapnel. None of them were shot. The suspect, James Leonard, is in jail and awaiting charges.
Protesters gathered last night in opposition to a police checkpoint set up in Washington, D.C. Federal law enforcement agents made a traffic checkpoint in a popular night spot district of the capital city. Most of the more than 24 officers were police, but ICE agents were also there as well. Some of the officers covered their faces. People lined both sides of the street and yelled at officers. This comes after President Trump's directive to crack down on crime in the nation's capital. The president putting the police under federal control and deploying the National Guard.
Today, North Carolina Central University is unveiling new technology to transform the future of nursing education. The nursing department will introduce its new interactive nursing room. It's designed to increase student engagement using realistic simulations in a safe, controlled setting. There will be a ribbon cutting ceremony today from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Department of Nursing building in Durham.
A housing program to help people get back into a home after Helene has hit a new milestone. The program called Renew NC now has 1,000 applicants. The program gives money to people to help them rebuild or repair their homes. There's more than $800 million available for people in Western North Carolina.
Coming up, schedule adjustments. A new school year often means a shift in your routine. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shares the strategies you can use to stay organized and stress-free.
And sky-high chaos, an unruly passenger forcing a plane to make an unscheduled landing. The wild behavior that led to flight attendants having to hold him down.
And as we head to break, we'll take you live out to Pinehurst right now. Pretty out there right now. It's another WRAL weather alert day, though. Showers and storms could bring the potential for more localized flooding. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains the communities most at risk today.
8:43, and a few light showers have been creeping into our western counties, Chatham County, Lee County, Moore County, Hoke County this morning. Nothing terribly heavy, and we don't have any heavy rain right behind this. So we're seeing a few sprinkles moving over toward Jordan Lake. Some of that might creep on over into Apex in the western part of Wake County, just as a sprinkle, but I wouldn't expect really much measurable rain. Now later this afternoon, it goes from a 30% chance to a 60% chance, and that's more likely to have a better chance of at least some people seeing some heavy downpours. Temperatures are starting to creep into the mid to upper 70s. Lots of cloud cover out there and very muggy. Our rain chance today is 60%, but then Friday and Saturday it drops off to 30%. I'll show you what's changing with our weather pattern to bring us some drier temperatures and some hotter weather coming up.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we have a situation on I-40 westbound with this crash causing some huge delays. It's actually the shoulder of the road that's blocked, but you can see the delays stretching all the way back past South Saunders, almost all the way back to the 440 interchange. You can see the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So if you're taking that southern loop of the Beltline, you're looking at a 10-minute delay. So keep that in mind. If you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, and you can take the northern loop of the Beltline, that's your best bet. In terms of other routes coming into the capital city, main trouble spot, 6 minutes coming in from Wake Forest this morning.
All right, thank you, Ken. And breaking news, in the last 10 minutes, we've learned a barricade situation at an apartment in Rocky Mount that lasted 7 hours is over. Ali Caldabar is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, you spoke with an officer on scene. What did they tell you?
Yes, just within the past 5 minutes, we've learned that the person that was barricaded inside their apartment, they have been arrested. That was within the past 45 minutes this happened. We also are working to find out if that person is the one who shot the other man who was involved in this. So we're going to get into this. This is Drone 5 video. It shows kind of what this has been going on for the past several hours. We saw special response team moving around with their guns, pointing it at the apartment complex. This all started around 1:10 a.m. when police responded to a 23-year-old man who was shot. That person was taken to the hospital and is listed as stable. Again, we are working to find out if that person who was barricaded all morning shot the 23-year-old man. We are also working to find out what led up to this incident, as well as the why this person barricaded themselves inside. We also know that the shelter-in-place order has been lifted. We are staying in contact with a Rocky Mount Police Department. They say they're going to give us an update throughout the morning. Reporting in Rocky Mount, Ali Caldabar, WRAL News.
Time is 8:46 here in the WRAL Live Center. That highly anticipated producer price index report released not too long ago for the past 10 or so minutes. And it looks like wholesale prices rose 0.9% in July, which is actually a bit more than expected. You may hear that and wonder, well, what does this have to do with me? Well, this measures the amount of money that producers and manufacturers are using in terms of making products, and they could potentially pass on costs to you. In terms of how the market is reacting, we can see the U.S. futures from overnight. Currently, things are in the red space here. S&P down 23, Dow Jones down 158, and the NASDAQ down 98. The opening bell is about within the next hour, and of course, we'll see how investors are reacting to that.
Thanks, Chris. The new school year is almost here, and that often means a shift in routines. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur has smart strategies to help get everybody organized, motivated, and ready for that fresh start.
Summer may not be officially over just yet, but starting to adjust your student's schedule weeks or even just a few days before those doors open can certainly help limit their back-to-school stress. Start with the sleep schedule. You can help your child get ready by moving their bedtime about 15 minutes earlier each night until they reach their regular school time. Simple steps like picking outfits the night before and starting the day with a healthy breakfast can help kids feel calm and focused.
Having a nutritious breakfast that includes lean protein, whole grains, fruit, or even vegetables can help keep blood sugar levels steady so your child can concentrate better and have more energy throughout the day.
Make sure your kids are up to date on their wellness visits, sports physicals, and vaccines. If they are starting middle school, they may need their Tdap, HPV, and meningococcal shots. And don't forget the flu shot. That's before the end of October. Back to school jitters certainly happen, but to help ease your child into things, consider taking them for a tour of the school or throwing a play date with some of their new classmates. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
A Breeze Airways flight headed for Los Angeles was suddenly diverted to Colorado after a passenger became unruly. Check out this video of police boarding that plane in Grand Junction to remove and arrest that passenger. The plane took off from Norfolk and was scheduled to travel to Los Angeles. Authorities say the passenger started yelling racial slurs at airline staff. Police say staff tried to put him in restraints twice, but he broke free both times. He then started swinging a belt at fellow passengers.
I've been flying for over 10 years, and I ain't never witnessed no mess like this.
He was saying racial slurs, he was being loud, and I didn't know he attacked anybody until I saw the news.
Yeah, the airline says a flight attendant and passenger were evaluated for minor injuries. All right, Taylor Swift fans rejoicing and Timothée Chalamet taking on table tennis.
Yeah, time for a look at what's trending this morning. The wait is over, Swifties. Taylor Swift has revealed the release date and cover art of her newest album. The announcement was made on Travis and Jason Kelce's podcast, The Life of a Showgirl. That will be the pop star's 12th album. The album releases October 3rd. I love that she went on their show. That probably was like the most streamed podcast episode that they've ever had.
She is a writing machine.
She is. She's very talented.
Goodness, well, good for her.
Yeah.
Well, a new look for actor Timothée Chalamet in Marty Supreme. The Oscar-nominated star will be playing a man who dreams of becoming a ping pong legend. The movie is directed by Josh Safdie and hits theaters on Christmas Day. He looks so different. And believe it or not, he's actually playing ping pong because he trained with a ping pong champion.
I believe it. Yeah, that's amazing.
Incredible.
All right, well, the Powerball jackpot has grown to a whopping $565 million. No one matched all 6 numbers in last night's drawing. The next drawing is Saturday at 11 p.m. on WRAL. Now, if there is a winner, they could walk away with a cash payout of over $258 million. I could use that.
You could use that for your wedding, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, let's go to the meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center because it is a WRAL Weather Alert Day.
It is. Once again, same old pattern that we've had all week. It's very humid. We have a lot of tropical air sitting over us, and that has created a few light showers this morning. Most of those have been here in the Sandhills. So from Southern Pines to Carthage, a little bit of that down in Hope County. Also up in Chatham County, Pittsboro, back to the west toward, say, Siler City, seeing a little bit of light patchy rain. New this morning, along and east of I-95, these counties are now under a medium risk for flooding instead of a low risk, which is what the rest of the viewing area is under. So we're looking at the potential for a few spots to see maybe 2 to 3 inches of rain. Watch out for low-lying areas, especially areas, along your normal travel route that tend to flood pretty easily. We've had a lot of rain so far, so any rain that starts to fall could cause more flooding. So looking at a 60% chance this afternoon, that's when we'll have the best shot at it. So far, over the last 5 days, the heaviest rainfall consistently has been down in the south, near Southern Pines at 4.5 inches, around Goldsboro 2.5. So, 2 to 4, almost 5 inches in our southern counties. But there have been some pockets up near the Virginia line, as much as almost 5 inches. Raleigh's had 2 to 3 inches. So it's just been scattered. We just continue to have this flow of tropical moisture coming up out of the south. And that's thanks to the high pressure system that's helping to draw it up and the low back to the west. With the opposite circulation, both of these working together to push that tropical moisture in. So to get rid of it, we're going to need to change the pattern. And that starts today. Low moves east, high moves east. That high wrapping around clockwise is going to help to push some of that tropical moisture down to the south. But still a chance this afternoon that we would have some isolated, localized flooding. Keep tuned here to WRAL and watch your WRAL weather app. We've seen variably cloudy skies so far today. It's warm and sticky, 77. Our dew point 74. Our high this afternoon will be in the upper 80s, but no 90s just yet. Tomorrow could be the first 90-degree day that we see this month. Also tracking the tropics, we're going to be watching Tropical Storm Erin really for the next week as it moves westward and then eventually makes that northern turn. Right now it has winds at 50 miles per hour, but becomes a hurricane by Friday afternoon or evening, and then Category 3 and makes that northerly curve. Right now we don't expect it to make landfall in the United States, but we still have a long time to watch this. Watching some warmer temperatures coming as we get into the weekend as we start to dry out a little bit.
All right, Elizabeth, thanks. Before we head to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. We'll be right back with another look at weather and traffic coming up.